about ready?
Just about ready. She me coming since
No, she was back.
she was back there.
I
Okay.
saw her just a minute ago. Yes.
Namanda, 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 namanda.
Good morning. My name is Marcus Sakuda, and I'll be your chairperson for today's Ho'onko service. Are there any visitors or new students and families here this morning? If so, welcome to our temple. Could those of you sitting near them help to find the proper pages for the sutras, gathas, and readings? Thank you. Reverend Mikame will explain the okumotsu, the offerings that will be brought up to the Onaijin.
Good morning, everyone. Okay, as I explained last week, this is a Honko service. So this is a really special memorial service for Shinan Shonin, and is the most important service in Jodo Shinshu tradition. So during this, because it's a special service, we decorated the Naijin with the cloth called Uchishiki and Mizuhiki. It's really pretty, right? And this is special enough, but this year I asked for the special help for everyone to get involved in decorating. It is a decoration and offerings, or okumotsu in Japanese. Pari Kaneda and Irene Mori worked really hard preparing for this project and made a cylinder to display the offerings. So we asked everyone from all the Dhamma schools and from kindergarten to the high school to help us. Thank you very much. So I saw the finished work, and then since we did some repair work, so it became 20 times more beautifully decorated than I had expected. Thank you very much for your cooperation. So we're able to hear the same teaching that Shinan Shonin shared over 750 years ago today. So because of the contribution that he made throughout his life in conveying the Amida's wishes to so many people. So this is a day to especially appreciate the life of Shinan Shonin, which is why I asked you to participate in this project. Okay, so now I'd like to have a representative from each group bringing an offering to the front. お願いします。
Now we will have offerings from the following Dharma School classes: kindergarten and first grade, second and third grade, fifth and sixth grade, seventh and eighth grade, high school, Dharma School teachers, thank you. Now we'll have Sanbu draw. Oh. Thank you. Now we'll have Sanbu draw on page 24 in the big book, followed by the sutra chanting Jusege on page 23 in the little book, or page 93 in the big book.
on this occasion of Ho'onko, the members of the San Jose Buddhist Temple, Dharma School, and family have reverently come before Amida Buddha with deepest reverence and thankfulness for the all-embracing wisdom and compassion of Amida. We reaffirm the three homages. I go to the Buddha for guidance. I go to the Dharma for guidance. I go to the Sangha for guidance. 아곤 조생한 예시무조도 신난 흠한손 세이프 조성나 나오무료고 은이나이 세슈 버사이쇼빙흠 세이프 조성나 나시조무즈노 여쇼초진몸 극혐이쇼몬 세이프 조성나 리요크진쇼넨 조에슈몽염 시금무조도 이쇼텐닌십 진리히엔나이고 어쇼무사이노 쇼조상품요 어사이슈야구난 하이히지엥엔 매신코모안 해송쇼아구노 저다츠센슈몬 고소조만석 이연호제법 내징아츠슈주기 갱고옴พึ่엔 이슈카이호소 고세쿠노구호 조오다이슈주 샘모시싱음 그여일사이뭇 무성슈동우혼 난내시주조만 공우이상나이오 여부츠무개짐 전하츠미부쇼 난나그에릭 보시사이쇼선 싱한야코카 나이센노간노 오크쇼텐닌 도우제묘 Samanna, Namanna, Samanna, Namanna, 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 Samanna, Namanna.
We'll now have Daihyo Shoko by the following organizations: Cub Scout Pack 611, Boy Scout Troop 611, Daisy Troop, Brownie Troop, Junior Girl Scout Troop, Cadet Troop, Senior Girl Scout Troop, Ambassador Troop, Lotus Preschool, San Jose Dharma School, San Jose Junior YBA, DSPO, San Jose Betsuan, Now we'll have got the Shinran Sama on page 86 in the small book or page 240 in the big book, followed by the Golden Chain, which is located on page 2 in the little book or page 15 in the big book, under Golden Chain 1.
Soyo kaze wataru, asa no 様は灯火を私の行く手にかざされるこの世の民に明け暮れに寂しい命を嘆く時南無阿弥陀仏唱えれば親鸞様は寄り添って私の手を取り歩まれる
The Golden Chain. I am a link in Amita's golden chain of love that stretches around the world. I will keep my link bright and strong. I will be kind and gentle to every living thing and protect all who are weaker than myself. I will think pure and beautiful thoughts, say pure and beautiful words, and do pure and beautiful deeds. May every link in Amita's golden chain of love be bright and strong, and may we all attain perfect peace. Namo Amida Butsu.
Namo Amida
Namo Amida
Butsu.
Butsu.
Namo Amida Butsu.
Namo Amida Butsu.
Namo Amida Butsu.
Now Rinban Sakamoto will introduce our guest speaker.
Good morning. Welcome to this Honko service. As Mikami Sensei mentioned in the very beginning, it is one of the most important services that we observe in Jodo Shinshu. It is the memorial service for Shinran Shonin. This morning we have a guest speaker who is from the Southern Alameda Buddhist Temple, and he is accompanied by his wife, Mrs. Miyaji, and son, Keita. So, welcome. Miyaji Sensei was assigned to the Southern Alameda Buddhist Temple after having served the Takomon Buddhist Temple. He was brought to the Bay Area so that he could help at the Institute of Buddhist Studies with classes there. Dr. Miyaji's degree is Shinshu Studies. So we're very fortunate to have him with us this morning. Onegai shimasu.
Please join me in Gassho. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Good morning, everybody. Well, it's nice to see a huge group of people here today. I'm not really used to that at SACBC, but I'm over at the SACBC, so please feel free to come on over anytime. We're in Union City, and so it's on the southern end of the county of Alameda, but I believe we're at the very bottom end of the district, and the Bay District, and so the borderline cuts off there, and then San Jose is part of the Coast District. So we don't really have too many events together, but we do have Obon and bazaars and these things, so please feel free to come on over. I'm originally from Los Angeles, California. I grew up there. I was born in Ogden, Utah, but I grew up in Los Angeles. My father was also a Kaikyoshi minister, and he served at the LA Betsuin for a long time. And so I remember growing up at that temple for a long time, going through the Dharma school and the junior Y and all those things, and the Cub Scouts and the Boy Scouts. So it was very nice to see all the little kids come up and give the offering. We don't have a Girl Scouts at SACBC, so it was very natsukashi to see those uniforms. It was very nice to see that. It was very cute to see everybody come up. Thank you very much. And the osonai was very beautiful. The candies that you guys put a lot of work into it. It's very obvious. The details of it is very, very intricate. So I got to hand it to the Dharma school teachers. But Amida Buddha, I think, needs to watch his A1C count, you know. I was told I need to watch my A1C count. That's the only reason why I know what that word is referring to. But yeah, I've been listed as pre-diabetic, so I need to watch my sugar count, is what I was told. But anyway, so that is that. And I had one thing that I wanted to share with you. On my way over here, I brought my son, and my wife came in a separate car. So I was taking my son, and then we were listening to my jams on my iPod, and then one song came on, and I said, "Oh, hey, Keisai, your mom and dad, mama and papa, you know, we danced to this song for our wedding. You know that?" And he's like, "Ill." And so I was like, "Oh, he's 7 years old. And he's already talking like a teenager, man." It's like, I guess that's the way life goes. But anyway, it's very nice to be here. I'm very honored to be here at San Jose Betsuin, and thank you very much to Sakamoto Sensei and also Mikame Sensei. Thank you very much, and Michael Sensei. Thank you. And if you guys don't know, Michael Sensei just got his Tokudo, so we're very happy and that he's joined us and being able to spread the Nembutsu teaching. So thank you very much. So today I wanted to talk a little bit about something that I went to. I went to a trip to Europe last year, my first time ever in my life, and there was a Jodo Shinshu conference out there in Dusseldorf, Germany. But we made a kind of a whole trip out of it, and we went to different areas. And so I went to the Louvre. In Paris, and you know, there's all these art galleries. I only allotted for one day there, and it's totally not enough time to be able to check out that whole area, that whole museum. But we did go and see the Mona Lisa, yeah. And so I don't know if there's a picture of that. Is that will come out over here? Oh, okay. Oh, okay, just one side. Okay. Thank you. I was like, where? Okay. Well, thank you. Let me pop it up here, so just so I have reference on my screen too as well. ちょっと待ってくださいね。Okay, so let's see. This painting was made in 1503. I'm sorry if it's kind of pixelated. I did the best I could to find it off the internet. But it's 1503 by, does anybody know who made this painting? Oh, young man right there. Oh, yes. Good job, man. Good job. Yes. And so Leonardo da Vinci painted this, and he was considered a genius who had this kind of never-ending thirst for knowledge. And so he was also a philosopher. He was also a scientist, and he was much, much more. And so there are a few details of this painting that I kind of want to talk about because I think it ties into Buddhism in a lot of respects. Okay, so the first thing I want to point out to you is that the kind of the color of Mona Lisa, right, is blends in with the background. As you can see with this painting, there's no real strong lines, and so kind of her clothes kind of blends with the background, and so. Actually, it's said that you can't see any brushstrokes that are visible to the naked eye. Because the color of her clothes blends in with the background, we can see how Mona Lisa is actually kind of part of nature, part of this scene and the background. So in other words, she is part of the world around her in that sense, okay? So the nature scene is shown in the background is from Leonardo's imagination. It's not depicting an actual place. What is also interesting is that we can't really tell where the horizon is, right? If you look kind of carefully, even if you look closely at the picture, can't really tell where the horizon is. To the left of Mona Lisa's head, let's see if you're looking at it, the left, it seems like it's like one line where the horizon is. And on the right, to the right of her, it's like a different line where the horizon is. And so what I learned about this is that this is kind of cool. It's kind of like an optical illusion. And so that when we look down at her shoulders, they seem to be slanted as if she's kind of moving towards us a little bit, okay? However, in reality, her shoulders are level and they aren't slanted at all, actually, but the horizon kind of makes it look like they are slanted, and in that sense, it shows that she's kind of coming forward. So our brain kind of gets confused and assumes that the shoulders are slanted as well. So but Mona Lisa is sitting still. And so, in fact, she's moving in a sense when you look at the shoulders, okay? And so this is a kind of a concept I want to kind of talk about later in Jodo Shinshu Buddhism, okay? The last point, the third point I want to talk about. So the first point was that she kind of blends in with the background. The second point is that her shoulders are kind of weird looking, so it looks like she's moving. And then the third point is that there's when you look at her face, which all humans look like when they first look at people, they look at the face, she seems to be smiling, right? But when you look at the smile itself, right, sometimes it looks like then she's kind of like, she goes from this to like a smirk. And then if you look closely, even further, and then and you spend some seconds on it, then it looks like she has just like a straight face. So like she's doing this to like this, like a smirk, to like this, right? And it like switches, and it's like kind of weird in this. There's another kind of optical illusion, and then the brain gets kind of confused here. And so Leonardo da Vinci knew about this. It said that he studied the facial muscles very extensively, and so he kind of depicted it that her face kind of moves, like it smiles big, and then it smirks, and then it changes as you start to look at it over time. And so you have to keep in mind, this is a painting that was made in the 16th century, right? There is no computer, there's no movement, but yet he depicted it in a way that there is movement in this portrait, And so you can see the genius of Leonardo da Vinci and how to depict this portrait. So this ties in these 3 points, kind of 2 and 3 are kind of the same. It's talking about movement, but one is looking at the shoulders and one is looking at the face. But these 3 points I kind of want to talk about because they have to do with Buddhism. The first one is that because she blends in with the background, the point that I kind of want to draw is that we have this sense of we are interdependent in this world, that we may see ourselves as the kind of the egocentric bubble that we live in, but actually our lives are dependent on those around us, right? On our parents, on our friends and family that make our lives possible, right? And so this concept of interdependence is depicted here or we can interpret that from this painting of the Mona Lisa, right? And the Mona Lisa. So that's the first point. The second point that I want to talk about is that she is kind of moving, right? Even though she's staying still, she's moving. It seems like she's moving. And this is also to depict the statue of Amida Buddha is also moving. What we say in Jodo Shinshu is that truth comes to us, right? We don't go to truth. Truth comes to us. This is why Amida Buddha is always standing in the Gohonzon, okay? Always standing. And actually, as a matter of fact, if you look at the profile of Amida Buddha, meaning if you look at him sideways, from the side view, okay? This is kind of hard to tell because we always look at it from the front. But from the side, the Buddha is slightly leaning forward, okay? Slightly leaning forward. And what that is trying to depict, that is done very intentionally now, that's to try to depict that Amida Buddha comes forward to you, right? To grasp you and embrace you in this world of truth, right? And that's what we say in Jodo Shinshu. We kind of use a hard word. We say that truth is dynamic. Truth is moving towards us, okay? And so that's also another point that we can gather or interpret from the Mona Lisa, okay? I'm not saying that Leonardo da Vinci was a Jodo Shinshu Buddhist, okay? But I am saying that he was speaking to a truth that I think we can appreciate. And this is the connection that we can feel through different things in our lives, Buddhism and truth is always speaking to us, not just in the Hondo. We gather here at the Hondo to kind of remind ourselves this is like the direct access to truth, but truth reveals itself every day in our lives, in all aspects of our lives, right? And we come here to the temple to nurture ourselves, to learn how to be able to pick up on those things when we go back outside and live our daily lives, right? And so when my son says, ill, right? I had those feelings towards my parents when I was younger, right? Even now, I can't think of my parents dancing together to a song, right, or something like that. But that's how I see this truth of life and the impermanence of life, right? And so I see in all aspects how truth plays out in our everyday lives. And through this, the portrait of the Mona Lisa, we can understand that too, okay? So with that, I'd like to thank you very much for your participation and coming to today's Honko service. Please join me in Gassho. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu.
Thank you, Reverend Miyagi. We'll now have Gatha Ondoku-san 2 on page 76 in the small book or page 240 in the big book, followed by the promise located on page 5 in the little book or page 15 in the big book.
Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Oh, the promise, sorry.
The promise. We thank the Buddha for showing us the way of freedom. We will endeavor to walk in his noble path every day of our lives. Namo Amida Butsu.
Namo Amida Butsu.
Namo Amida Butsu.
Namo Amida Butsu.
Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you to Rinban Sakamoto, Reverend Mikame, Reverend Jones, Reverend Miyagi, Mr. Akizuki, Ms. Tanabe, and to organist Michael Yoshihara and AV Tech, Mr. Uenaka. Are there any announcements?
I've got a couple. So I'm speaking for BWA. BWA is once again selling chirashi and botomochi. There'll be, I guess they're selling tickets outside. I think it's $15 for chirashi. Botomochi is $8, and they'll be handing that out on February 17th. Second thing, real quick, I don't know if you've heard, but we're co-sponsoring with the Japanese American Museum the showing of this new movie called Kintsu Kuroi. I guess it's a fictional story based on historical facts. I think it's two families occurring prior to the war, during the war, and possibly after the war. I'm not sure, but there's actually a preview you can see if you Google Kintsu Kuroi. They actually show a little trailer. So, but it's co-sponsored, and it's for us. It's part of a fundraiser for the Dharma Center. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Shinji.
Hi, I'm Colin.
We are from Cub Scout Pack 611. The pack is having a Panda Express fundraiser tomorrow, Monday, January 22nd.
All orders placed online at pandaexpress.com or the Panda Express app using the code 919851 will have a portion of their order donated to the pack.
Orders placed through third-party providers like DoorDash do not qualify.
Please enjoy some orange chicken tomorrow, Monday, January 22nd, and use the code 919851 to help support Pack 611.
We thank the Sangha for your continued support at Cub Scouts. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Anthony from the San Jose Junior YBA. We'll be having our annual spaghetti dinner, which will be held on the February 3rd. It's a Saturday. We're selling tickets outside the gym after service. They'll be $10 each, and we accept cash or check. So, thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Cole Nakashima and I'm part of Troop 611. We're having our Boy Scout family dinner on Saturday, March 23rd, and we're taking orders after service outside the church. You can place your order also on the Betsuin website, and dinner will be dine-in and to-go. Thank you.
Good morning, Monson Ishimura for Junior Choir. There will be no Junior Choir practice today. Thank you.
Okay, I think this is the last one. Anyways, I'm Kevin Kitagawa. I actually just wanted to let everyone know that we're going to be having a Super Bowl sort of watch party. It's kind of a fundraiser for the Dharma Center on February 11th. We'll probably start gathering about 2:30. Let's see, till the end of the game, and we'll be kind of in the annex. And we're trying to, and we're going to be serving sort of appetizers, drinks, beers, wine, stuff like that. And so for that, you know, again, we're going to charge a nominal thing of about $20 per person or $30 per family. Children under 15 are free. You know, in addition to that, the food, if you do want to basically, you know, bring a favorite Super Bowl dish, feel free to do so. Again, we hope you'll join us, okay, to support sort of our Dharma Center campaign. Now, tickets are actually going to be both online and also the office can kind of help you. There's a Kindful link that we'll be getting out both in the Dharma. I can read it out to you, but it's probably hard to memorize. Or you can just contact the office and they'll kind of walk you through that. And there'll be sort of flyers also posted basically and an email that goes out so you can kind of easily purchase tickets. Okay, thank you.
Before everyone leaves the temple, please straighten all the books for the next service. Those of you who are interested are welcome to attend the adult English service following this service, or you are welcome to stop by the Open Door Cafe tent outside in front of the garden. For safety, please obey the crossing guards and look both ways before crossing the street. Thank you for attending today's service.
So when he starts, do we just start with the choir?
After the after the opening remarks by the chairperson.
Yeah.
And they can introduce the choir.
Okay, before we go into everything else. Okay. That's what I
Are you
thought.
cheering?
No, Kevin's cheering.
Thanks, Dennis.
Oh, okay.
Sensei, we had controversy yesterday about Sagari Fuji, Agari Fuji. No, but that's where we were taught.
Yeah.
Good morning. Good morning. Good to see you. Worked out beautifully. Thank you, Daddy. A lot of work.
Okay, so we should get. I realized my battery power might go out, so do you have like power?
Namanda, Namandax, Namanda, Namanda, Namandax.
Okay, good morning. I'm Kevin Kitagawa, and I'll be your chairperson for today's service, actually Honko service today. Before we begin this morning's service, I just a little reminder, no food or drinks in the Hondo, and also turn your cell phones off or to silent. Thank you very much. Do we have anyone here for the first time? Something like that? Oh, great. If you want, would you like to introduce yourselves or? Lee? Oh, great. Well, welcome. I'm from Stockton, so yeah. Great. Thanks. And let's see. I think now we'll have a sort of special musical presentation from our Betsuin Choir.
Good morning. The San Jose Betsuin Choir, led by Mrs. Elaine Jones, with piano accompanist Dr. Brady Livingston, will be performing two selections this morning. The first is Nori no Miyama 2, based on the original Gagaku piece by Gagaku Entenraku. The translation of the piece is as follows. The flowing valley waters of the Dharma mountain travel afar to touch the distant edges of this world. How fortunate am I to receive the celebrated waters of truth. The very presence of wisteria blossoms of the Dharma mountain, as long as I have this life, I look forward to the joy of continually returning. The second selection, titled With Gasho from the Heart, is written by Donna Sasaki with lyrics by Renee Mariyama and the BCA Music Committee's new Buddhist Music Subcommittee. Many of you are familiar with this piece as it is one of our new gathas this year. This piece was premiered at the May 2023 World Buddhist Women's Convention in Kyoto, Japan. For today's performance, we have a guest artist, Ms. Emily Kawaguchi, who will accompany the choir on flute.
Okay, thank you very much for that wonderful musical piece. And now we'll have Sambujo on page 24 in the large service book, followed by sutra chanting Shoshinge on page 15 in the small Dharma School service book.
Namanda, 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 namanda. Today on this occasion, the members of the San Jose Buddhist Church, Betsuin, have reverently come before me, the Buddha, to observe the Honko service with deepest reverence and thankfulness for the all-embracing wisdom and compassion of Amida. We reaffirm the three homages. I go to the Buddha for guidance. I go to the Dharma for guidance. I go to the Sangha for guidance. 묘무려 준열아이 나모 흥하신인모 오소모사인니짐 나이센진사이 오부쇼 어켄쇼무주조노임 어구너닌넨시zem막 온유무조슈숑안 조호츠케의다잉의세 모코시의시쇼주 주생묘쇼몬짐모 의허무려무행업 응예무달코엔업 조종앙이지행업 의남난지무쇼업 조니칭앙모쇼진세 일상군점은모쇼 옹남명어쇼종모 시신신경안니인 저통앙쇼나이네한 이시멘너간조주 요나이쇼잉어슈세 유이세츠미나 홍앙아이 모조쿠앙우징은종아이 오신여라이 녀지승원 노주 이진행기아이심 은남본노 도쿠네한 본정야구호사이엔유 묘슈신유가이이치미 세슈싱어조숑어 이노수이하무묘안 본나이신소시음음 여부신이츠신진된 인연있고 부음무 음무싱예묘무한 양의싱행견의 경임 성의쇼 모아부슈 이사이셈마크본문인 먼친여라인 그생난 우승엄모나의 성애샵 내님여분다니게 미나무즈홍안냄법 야행교만나크신좀 징여즈지진니난 난츠신남무가십 인노사이텐시롱님 증간지지잉이싱어소 겐나이숑어세쇼입 면여라이 혼세오깁 샤카묘라이 룡아센 이슈랑어며 난텐짐 류주다이니슈노세 시츠노사이하음무겐 센넷나이조무조호 쇼난이지쇼안나 엔지남여로구롱음 잉여잉여신도랍 어그냄미 으츠혼난 진냄 성의집 녀이츠조 여인여조 쇼녀랑업 어허다이 그세온 덴짐버사논춘 임여문예 고녀라이 에슈타라 켄신집 어생노조 다이생한 어유홍한 니기행업 이놈은 조쇼 이심 인유문 어구나이 홍아이 이츠냐근유다이 에슈슈 어무실행엔 소생나이 소쿠쇼 신여호쇼진 여이먼 너링엔 진습 여셔지 온지옹해 언신던난 여텐심 여고란 쇼모산나이 산선의시주저격 먼저 생력이라구호 엔짐머사논중예 언어인나 겐생난 어겐네 거유타립 쇼녀시인의신짐 와그셈멈무신짐무 쇼니 소쿠네한 이심머녀 고묘노 쇼순저가이분힙 너샹예 쇼넌난쇼 여이며저노 가츠뉴 만생지리기 행원슈 엠만도궁어 간센쇼 삼부산싱해옹모 로마츠호멘 너힌 이쇼소와 그 징의세 기안영아 쇼명아 젠노노 금요무쇼입 오아인조산 영야구아 오묘명어 개인넨 가인유홍난 나이 징하에 연야션유공어심 격이 지낸 소홍호 여이나이 동야구산닌 소쿠쇼호쇼신조락 옌싱오카이치나이교 엔키 안여칸 니사이 센조슈시 한센입 오켄니 너쇼멘유 오쿠조 아쿠닌 유이쇼무 마양사이 세슈주 온너쇼엔 수이붕엔 다이무켄 조쇼마 언싱행금여무교 렘민셈마크범문인 신충여쇼모헨슈 센야구홍낭후아구세 옛날 쇼지린냉에 개칭이조 이쇼십 소그녀 자구저무이라 이지신지인원유 흑현나인 지슈 시토 요사이무헨 모근저구아구 모소근지슈 은호 Namanna, namannaus, namanna, namanna, namannaus, namanna, namanna.
Okay, now we'll have Daihyo Shoko by the following organizations. Morgan Hill Hoakai, Adult Buddhist Association, Buddhist Women's Association, San Jose Betsuin, Okay, please rise for the Gatha Hoonko no Uta on page 260 in the large school service book. And after that, please remain standing for the three treasures, which is on page 3 in the small Dharma school service book.
What page was that?
260?
260?
Yeah, the large book.
260 in a large book. Okay. Hura wano, pata please join now in the reading of the three treasures on page 3 in the large service Gatha book. And as we read the three treasures, just a reminder that we will change oh, it's not on page 3. What page is it on? Oh, the small book, small service book, page 3. Sorry. And we will change the last line of the I Take Refuge in Sangha. And that will read, Your Life of Harmony in a Spirit of Universal Oneness. Okay? Hard is it to be born into human life. Now we are living it. Difficult is it to hear the teachings of the Blessed One. Now we hear it. If we do not deliver ourselves in the present life, no hope is there that we shall be freed from suffering and sorrow in the ocean of birth and death. Let us reverently take refuge in the three treasures of the truth. I take refuge in Buddha. May we all together absorb into ourselves the principle of your way to enlightenment and awaken in ourselves the supreme will. I take refuge in Dharma. May we all together be submerged in the depth of the doctrine and gain wisdom as deep as the ocean. I take refuge in Sangha. May we all together become units in true accord in your life of harmony, in a spirit of universal oneness, freed from the bondage of selfishness. Even through ages of myriads of kalpas, hard is it to hear such an excellent, profound, and wonderful doctrine. Now we are able to hear and receive it. Let us thoroughly understand the true meaning of Tathagata's teaching. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you. Please be seated. At this time, I'd like to introduce our guest speaker for today's Ho'onko service, Dr. Reverend Takashi. Oh, the brain is such a wonderful thing to waste. Dr. Reverend Takashi Miyaji, and he's joined today with his wife and son. Are they off? Son off to Dharma school. Okay, good. Keita, and we're happy to have you join us for this morning's service. Thank you very much. Mary Sensei, the first assignment was to the Takuma Buddhist Temple, and after a few years, he was assigned to the Southern Alameda Buddhist Temple, in part because the Buddhist Churches of America wanted to become Miyagi Sensei teach at the Institute of Buddhist Studies. And so we were very fortunate to have Sensei here. His doctorate is in Shinshu studies, and he brings that expertise and long family history. Miyagi Sensei's father, Nobuo Miyaji, was a minister with the Buddhist Churches of America for many years. Some of you, more famously, some of you may know his sister, Michiko Inenaga. And I was reminded of this because she is the person who organizes the entire world's Panda Express fundraising. Michiko and her husband, Glenn, are from the Orange County Buddhist Temple, but Michiko runs our Dharma Forward campaign, which is very important to us in the Buddhist Church of America. But we are very fortunate to have with us this morning Takashi Miyaji, minister of the Southern Alameda Buddhist Temple, professor at the Institute of Buddhist Studies.
Just have to hook this up really quickly. Give me 1 second. please join me in Gassho. The fundamental intent for which the Buddha appeared in the world was to reveal the truth and reality of the primal vow. He taught that to encounter or behold a Buddha is as rare as the blossoming of the Udumbara, hymns of the Pure Land. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Well, good morning again. Thank you very much for attending this special service, the Honko service. And I once again would like to thank San Jose Betsui for inviting me to speak here today. Thank you very much. So in this hymn that I just kind of read today, Shinran Shonin explains that Shakyamuni Buddha, the Buddha who lived and walked this earth, who lived 2,500 years ago, appeared in this world to reveal about this Amida Buddha's great wisdom and compassion, or Amida Buddha's primal vow. And this is the reason why Shakyamuni appeared in this world. However, encountering the Buddha's great working is as rare as the blossoming of the Udumbara flower. And this Udumbara flower is a legendary flower. It's said to blossom once every 3,000 years. And so that's how difficult it is to be able to encounter this truth, the truth of Amida Buddha's boundless working. So in order to explain this, I like to kind of take two approaches to it. One, I do have to talk about Shinran Shonin's history, his life story. So this might be a little bit of a history talk, so if you fall asleep, I totally understand, I get it. But I do kind of want to share his life story. It's very interesting, and that'll segue then into another portion of how we can encounter this world of great compassion. Okay. So at a very early age, Shinran Shonin loses his, this takes place in Kyoto, Japan in 13th century, or actually maybe at this time it's 12th century. 1173 is when he's born. And at the age of 9, both of his parents by this point pass away. And so he's left as an orphan, and he goes to, under his uncle's kind of guidance, but the uncle takes him to study at a Buddhist temple. So at this time, the mighty kind of the school of Buddhism was the mighty Tendai Shu. Tendai Buddhism was the kind of main one. I guess you could kind of liken it to like the Catholic Church having this dominance over Europe. And so in the same way, the Tendai tradition has this kind of stronghold in Japan, and especially being close to Kyoto. It was kind of its appointed spiritual kind of protectors of the imperial court. So the Tendai had this kind of the patronage of the royal court, the imperial court, and so it was, and by this point, after a few hundred years, when Shinran Shonin emerges, it becomes a kind of institutionalized sect of Buddhism. So they have a lot of power. Okay, is what I'm trying to get at here. Okay, they have a lot of power and a lot of money, and so Shinran Shonin then studies at the Tendai Shu's kind of headquarters, which is Enryakuji, which is on a mountain. Does anybody know the mountain's name by any chance? Hie, thank you very much. Okay, Hie-san. Okay, hi, arigatou gozaimasu. So he studies at Mount Hie, and he studies there from the age of 9 all the way till 29. And during this time, he kind of, studies very rigorously and does the various rigorous practices and studies and studies and studies, and starts to become kind of this well-respected scholar monk. And he could have easily had a kind of nice, kosher, nice, a steady, calm gig for himself. But he was very kind of displeased and unsatisfied with his kind of religious path that he was going. And the corruption that he saw at Enryakuji kind of made him question his path in terms of, why am I doing all of these ascetic practices and bending over backwards to try to attain enlightenment? It seems as if the harder I try, the further away this goal of enlightenment is, right? And so finally, over time, he really struggles with this, because you have to keep in mind his adolescence, his young adult age, right? When he's, let's just put it euphemistically, he's very energetic, and so he's very kind of not happy with his path, and so very dissatisfied with this. He gives up. He ends up giving up and climbs down the mountain and confines himself in a place called Rokkakudo Temple. So Rokkakudo Temple is smack dab in the middle of Kyoto. It still exists today, Okay, if you go there today, there's a Starbucks next door. I recommend going check it out. It's very nice. They have these glass panels, and you could look at the temple from, while you're sipping on your latte. It's a very nice temple. But he goes there, and he confines himself there for 100 days and says, I'm not going to leave here until I kind of receive some kind of understanding of what I should do next. And a lot of times when people explain this story, they kind of overlook the fact that this was a very serious step in his life, right? I mean, because he has given up everything that he has known, and he doesn't know what to do with his life, right? He's very, very confused and very at a loss, right, in his own kind of world and in terms of what to do next. And so it is very similar to this 100 days of confinement is kind of likened to the story of Shakyamuni Buddha, who leaves the four gates and sees the suffering and realizes that it doesn't matter how much money one has. It doesn't matter one's stature in society, that everybody will have to endure suffering. And how do we then come to terms with this? How do we accept this in our lives? And so he goes off and he studies in a spiritual path, and he says, long story short, he goes under the Bodhi tree and he says, I'm not going to leave here until I figure out what the meaning of life is. So in the same kind of sense of this, Shinran Shonin confines himself in the Rokkakudo temple. And it is said that on the 95th day, he receives a dream vision from Prince Shotoku, saying, and Prince Shotoku gives him a verse. And from this verse, he's kind of inspired from it and seeks to then go to find a teacher by the name of Honen Shonin. And so and then when he encounters Honen Shonin, who is this really well-respected teacher who's been teaching about this Nembutsu teaching, Shinran Shonin then kind of has this newfound sense of life and a new worldview that's given to him, right? And so, if I may, if you can share this, tech guy, AV guy, he's on his cell phone. Sorry, Brendan. He's vigorous on his cell phone, verifying the facts that I'm giving you guys today. Brendan, is this? Hi. Can you share the second document? Thank you very much. Arigatou gozaimasu. Thank you. The next one. Yeah, thank you. Okay, yeah. So he goes and tries to do these rigorous practices on his own, and realizes that he can't rely on his own powers. Thank you very much. And then he encounters Honen Shonin's teaching that teaches him about relying on the working of Amida Buddha's boundless wisdom and compassion, a source of strength that comes from outside of himself. Now on this diagram here with this chicken scratch of mine there, I've done the best to draw, but I'm not a good artist. But on the left two, so the top left and the bottom left are kind of together, and then the top right and bottom right are kind of together. I don't know if the folks in the back might not be able to see this, but if you could imagine that he's climbing up this ladder, and he's climbing up, and he reaches this glass ceiling, and is unable to go further up, and he doesn't know what to do until he's tired. He's tired on holding on to this ladder. So then he has to let go, all right? And so he lets go, and then what comes out from beneath is the saving hand of Amida Buddha. Sukui no te, we call it in Japanese, okay? Sukui no te. And this ojuzu is representative of us. And this ojuzu goes up and up and up, but can't reach any further, so it falls and falls, and it falls into the hand of Amida Buddha's salvific working, okay? And then on the right side is a similar kind of diagram here in the top right, where Shinran Shonin is trying to get above the clouds, and these are the clouds of blind passions, right? That kind of keep his keep him kind of in the state of gloominess, let's say, right? And so he wants to get past the clouds to attain satori, or attain awakening, right? That's what that kanji is at the top there on the right character. But he realizes that the further up he goes, the more clouds appear, right? And the harder that he tries, the more that he realizes he can't get past this overcast of clouds. Then he comes down the mountain. He gives up and he comes down, encounters Honen Shonin, and Honen Shonin teaches him this teaching of other power to say, as the diagram says, Amida Buddha is telling Honen to tell Shinran Shonin, Nammandabu, tell him he is okay as he is. Okay, tell him he is okay as he is. You know, today we chanted the Shoshinge, and thank you very much for chanting along with us. I know it's a bit to get through that, but it talks about the entire digest of the Jodo Shinshu tradition. There's one point in that Shoshinge, if you look on the English translation, but I'll explain it to you now. He says that there are clouds of blind passions, right? And but beneath the clouds of blind passions, there is light, not darkness. It's light. And as a matter of fact, that light has always been shining through. And because of that light, he can look up and see just how dense those clouds are. But he is able to see those clouds because of the light. In other words, he is okay just as he is in the embrace of Amida Buddha's great working, this working of light and life, this working of clarity and warmth, right? And that he is embraced as he is. So can you imagine what that feels like when you have this whole kind of heavy set of weights that are lifted off your shoulders, right? I think it's safe to assume that he had the preparedness, the willingness to end his life had he not come to this teaching. And yet from the pits, the bottom of the pits, he comes and he reaches the highest kind of joy, highest kind of elation in being able to awaken to this teaching of Amida Buddha's great compassion. It's like encountering the Udambara flower, right? And he is able to blossom there, right? Why is this so difficult to encounter Amida Buddha's great compassion? It's hard to abandon, or it's hard to encounter this because it's hard to let go of this ego self. And we call this in Japanese, hakarai, this wanting to always hold on to to our ego self and wanting to prioritize ourselves over others. That's why it's difficult to encounter this world of absolute truth. So I'd like to share with you a story that talks a little bit more in concrete terms, not like from a historical perspective, but more in concrete terms of why it's so difficult to experience compassion. I'd like to share with you a story that involved a minister in Japan. And this minister in Japan, kaikyoshi, or not kaikyoshi, but ministers, it's common for them to have other professions at the same time. And so one of them is to be a school teacher. And so this particular minister was also a school teacher, junior high school. And so it's an episode that took place at school, okay? And so he tells this story. He says that one day he was teaching his class, and all of a sudden one of the boys stood up in the class and just kind of walked off. Walked and left the classroom. And then so the teacher was dumbfounded. You know, why would a student just all of a sudden up and leave the classroom, right? And so everybody's kind of in shock at this point. And so the teacher especially, he's like, what's going on? And the boy leaves. And a couple minutes later, the boy comes back, right? And then he opens the door, gara. You know, in Japan, they open the door sideways. Okay, it's not like this, but he opens the door sideways. And he enters with a bucket, okay? He enters with a bucket. And so the teacher's like, what is this guy doing? Right? And then the student comes back, this boy comes back, and he sits down, and he goes back to his spot. And then before he does that, he pours the contents of the bucket in front of the person in front of him. Okay, pours all of that water out. And so everybody is like, you know, and the teacher is like, doesn't know what to do. And so he tries to take control of the situation, and he says, why did you do that? Right? And then the boy didn't answer anything. He just, he had a calm face look. Right? And so the teacher, promptly sends the student to the principal's office, where he gets chewed out, gets disciplined, and he's suspended from school for a few days. But during this whole time, they question him, right? And he doesn't answer at all, doesn't say anything, right? Well, over time, the rumor starts to break out about this boy who's quiet, and then people start making outlandish stories about this kid. They start bullying him, and they kind of ostracize him from the rest of the group, right? And so this poor boy is kind of, outcasted from the rest of the group and scolded from the faculty. The faculty doesn't trust him, and then the other students in the school don't trust him. Well, finally, one day it came time that the rest of the class was going to graduate, and this boy was going to transfer to another school because of the bullying that was taking place. And so the teacher then finally says, hey, the class is going to graduate. You guys they're going to go on to the high school now, and you're going to go off to another school, so you won't ever see us or any of us again. Why? I beg of you, tell me, why did you dump that bucket of water on that poor girl in front of you, right? And so finally the boy then relented, and he says the following. He says, well, I was going about my usual day when all of a sudden I can hear this dripping noise coming from in front of me. And when I look in front of me, I see this puddle that was forming in front of me and underneath this chair of the girl that was sitting there. So I didn't know what to do, and no one else had noticed just yet. And so the only thing that I could think of was to go out and get a bucket of water and douse her in water so that she would not be able to, or so that the other students wouldn't recognize that she had soiled herself, right? And so the teacher hears this story, right? And he's moved by this, right? He's brought to tears, and he's kind of shameful. The fact that even himself was kind of very strict with this student after, that he went through all this bullying, and people didn't understand what he had done. But to this teacher, who is also a minister, saw him as a bodhisattva, right? And so I think from this story, what I take away is that, there's this message of compassion is very difficult to understand because it's counter to what we're used to every day. It's very hard to understand that unless we come to the temple, right? Unless we take refuge in the Buddha Dharma and the Sangha, right? And we listen to the Buddha Dharma, and as the Buddha Dharma slowly nurtures us, we then start to pick up on how compassion is displayed in our everyday lives, right? And the teacher was able to pick up on this and shares this story about how compassion does work in our everyday lives. And this is what Shinran Shonin also encounters in his life, this compassion that embraces him as he is, right? And there he is able to have this new worldview, a reinvigorated worldview where he can live at ease, where he can live with confidence, with hope, and with joy, right? Despite the blind passions or the attachments that he may harbor in his hearts, that it is okay that he is embraced as he is. So this Honko Day today, I think, is a time to reflect on that, right? A time to see that we are embraced as we are in this teaching, and that the Buddha Dharma, this beautiful temple, San Jose Betsuin, right, is where we can come to listen to this teaching of Amida Buddha's great wisdom and compassion. And with that, I'd like to close the English portion. Thank you very much for your time. Please join me in Gassho. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu.
Thank you very much, Reverend Miyachi. Okay, now, please rise. Oh, that's right, the word. Okay.
Good afternoon, or good morning. Miyaji Sensei will say a few words in Nihongo, if that's okay.
Minasan, おはようございます。10分ぐらい日本語で、話していただきたいと思いますが、私の日本語はそんなに上手ではないので、この顔を見たら日本語、絶対日本人で日本語喋れるでしょうというふうに思いますけれども、実はアメリカ人なので、できるだけ頑張って日本語で喋りたいと思います。今日は原稿用紙をちゃんと用意してきましたので、これを読ませていただきたいと思います。はい。今日は本校という、行事を言習させて、おります。本校は宗祖親鸞上人が お浄土に往生されたことを追悼する行事です。浄土真宗の本願寺派では、これを西暦にしますと1月16日に制定されております。また1263年にお亡くなりになりましたので、今年から見たら、761年目ですかね、となります。大変長い期間を経ておりまして、その間何千万人の、人が本願寺の教えと出会ったのですね。本願の教えと出会ったのですね。世の中が、大変不安であった時とか、あるいは平和な時代もあったと思います。しかし761年が経って、今その教えが私たちのところへ、届いているというのは本当に不思議に思います。今浄土真宗が、ない、方が、普通に考えるとおかしくないぐらいですが、今になってもこの教えが時代を、貫いています。それはなぜでしょうか。なぜでしょうか。親鸞上人が、次のようなお言葉を書き残しておられます。よしあしの文字をも知らぬ人は皆誠の心なりけるを。善悪の字知り顔は大空ごとの形なり。ぜひ知らず邪生もわかぬ好みなり。生じ生非もなけれども妙理に認しを好むなりとあります。少し古い、日本語ですけれども、これ和算に出てくる、言葉ですが、最初の方では、上人はよしあしを本当に知らない、人は誠実な心を持っているとおっしゃっています。ところが私は全くそうではなく、よしあしをまるで知っているかのように、振る舞っているのです。しかしこれは本当は嘘だと説明されておるんですね。次に何が正しいのか、何が間違いなのか、何が善であるのか、何が悪であるのかがわからないのがこの自分の現状の姿なんだというふうに述べておられます。他人のことをちゃんと見てあげることもできない、思いやりすることもできないこの自分は名誉のために偉そうにして他人に教えているに過ぎない。これが自分の本当の姿なんだと述べられております。私はこの部分を読むたびにですね、私のことをもう 100% 知っているというような感じで思います。この鋭いお言葉は私の心を明白に読み取っていると感じます。親鸞上人は800年前に生きておられた方なのですが、現代に生きる私の心を完璧に分かっているかのように思います。確かにご開山上人の言われる通りの私なのですね。よしあしのことや何がいいのか何が悪いのかが本当に分かっていないのに、まるで分かっているかのように人に自分の思いを押し付けたりします。また心の中には自分のことしか考えていないのに他人のことをよく見ているふりをして見下したり悪いように思いますね。親鸞上人は周りの人たちにお前が悪いと指を絶対に指しませんが、自分のことを本当に素直に向き合った方なんだなというふうに感じさせられます。そしてその素直さを見て、やはり自分のことも深く反省させられるようになりますね。私は大学院で仕事をさせていただいておりますが、この精神を持って就任させていただいています。大学の研究員や教授の中にはこういう方がよくいらっしゃいますね。少しちょっと悪口になりますけれども、熱心に研究していろいろな情報を頭の中に入れてですね、そしてその情報を使って授業を教えたりします。仏教の学者も一緒です。頑張って一人前の大学者さんになってものすごい知識人になりますね。しかしあれだけ偉い様になってどうするのかと思いますね。名誉やいい給料を目指すのであれば、仏教より他の分野の方がいいんじゃないのというふうにいつも思います。仏教を勉強するのであれば、やはり仏教の道を実際に自分で歩み、そして自分の救いに対処としていかなければ何のためにもならないと思いますね。仏教は人に教えるためのものではないのです。また百科事典みたいに情報が豊富な人になるためのものではないのです。自分の問題、あるいは自分という問題がどうなっているのか、これが メインの目的になっていないといけないと私は思います。これが仏教の、信者の精神であると思います。お釈迦様は自分の悩みの根本は、煩悩だとお説きになったのです。この生じの問題は世の中の人のためのものではなく、自分がこの迷いから抜け出せられないので、それをどう解決していくのか、これを求めていったのですね。でそしてその悟りの世界、つまり仏の知恵と慈悲の世界が分かったら、その真実をもってこの世に働きかけたのです、ね。ですから仏法は自分がどう救われていくのかが問題なのです、あくまでも。親鸞上人も同じく人間としてこの菩薩道の厳しさ、つまり仏道に耐えられない体や精神がどう苦しみから抜け出せられるのか、これを一生懸命求めていかれたのですね。でもうこのままもう自分はノーホープなんだ、と、悩まれたのですね。でそしてとうとう最後に、そうでないということに気づかれたんですね。法然上人と出会われて、法然上人からのお導きによって阿弥陀様の真実の知恵と慈悲とに出会い、その救いの道が開かれたのでした。煩悩具足の凡夫であるこの私であるが、その私でさえもこの真実の世界に抱かれているんだと、気づかれたのです。でそれが、今日に至って私たちにも届いているのです。これは本当に、不思議な、ご縁なのですね。ちょっと話が、超過してしまいましたけれども、ここのところを、心の中に、念頭の中に置いて、今日の本校のお務めを、させていただきました。皆さん本日はようこそのお参りでございました。最後に合唱をお願いいたします。南無阿弥陀仏、南無阿弥陀仏、南無阿弥陀仏、南無阿弥陀仏。
Okay, now can I ask actually Larry Hondo to come up for some words of appreciation?
Hello. On behalf of the San Jose Betsuin and all our Sangha, I'd like to thank Reverend Miyagi for your 3 Dharma messages. You gave 2, obviously, in this service, one in English and one in Japanese. And he also gave one to the 9:30 service for our Dharma school students, where the only thing I remember from that is he said his son said, "Meh." So anyway, I hadn't heard that in a Dharma message before. Regarding your talk today, with the minister who also taught in a school, as you were going over that story, it reminded me of one of the Dharma talks Rinpoche gave, where he said to be a Buddha is to seek infinite wisdom and infinite patience. And as you talked about that situation, all I could think about is that could have been handled differently if everybody around had had more patience and had tried to get more knowledge about why that was happening. So anyway, again, thank you very much.
Okay, now I'd like everyone to please rise for the Gatha Ondoksan 2 on page 76 in the small Dharma service book, or on page 220 in the large service book.
Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda Namadas. Thank you. Please be seated.
Okay, are there any announcements?
Got a couple. On February 10th, is it February 10th? Okay. Sorry, I'm getting all these things confused. So February 10th, we're co-sponsoring a movie that will be held in our gym here. It's a movie called Kin Kitsuroi. It'll be like a premiere showing. And the writer and some of the actors will be here to watch also. But please, if you can, tickets are being sold online or in the church office. But again, it's co-sponsored, so half the proceeds will go to us, which will help fund our Dharma Center fundraising campaign. 1 week later, on February 17th, the BWA is once again doing their Chirashi Botomochi fundraiser. I don't know if they're still outside selling tickets. They were before. If not, they're probably in the gym. I think it's $15 for Chirashi and $8 for the Botomochi. Please support the BWA. Thank you.
Hello, I'm here to make the announcements that were made at the 9:30 service by the youth groups, the various youth groups. So tomorrow, the Cub Scouts are having a Panda Express fundraiser. So all day you can do this online. Online. The code is 919851. So you have to input that code. So it's not like you can go to Panda Express and just order and do it. You've got to order it online. And if I recall correctly, they said it doesn't work with DoorDash or something like that. So let's see. On Saturday, February 3rd, Junior YBA is holding its annual spaghetti dinner. I think they said tickets are $10. Again, who knows if they're still selling out there, because normally service ends by 11 and we are way past that. So I don't know if they're still out there, but if not, they'll be there next Sunday. And then the Boy Scouts are having their annual family dinner on March, whatever the last Saturday is, 28th? I don't know. But anyway, those tickets are on sale too, and they were selling them outside too, but again, I don't know if they're still there. But again, that's in March, so they'll be out in following weeks. Thank you.
Okay, one last announcement also. On February 11th, we're going to be hosting basically a Super Bowl sort of party, in the gym on our basically giant screen and audio system that we'll go ahead and set up to kind of broadcast the actual Super Bowl. Hopefully the 49ers will make it past one more week and be in there, so it should be a lot of fun. Again, we'll be serving basically sort of appetizers, drinks and everything, and if you want to bring basically kind of a dish, Super Bowl dish, then feel free to do so. And for the fundraiser part, we're going to be again asking you to buy tickets for admission, $20 per person or $30 per family, and children under basically 15 are free. Okay, and tickets again are going to be online. It'll be in the Dharma. We're going to actually also do an email for both the movie as well as the Super Bowl for that same weekend. So look out for that email. Or if you basically don't receive either of those, again, you can call the church office and they'll help you basically purchase a ticket as well. Okay. Any other announcements? Okay. If not, again, thank you to Rinban Sakamoto, Reverend Mikame, Reverend Jones, Dennis Akizuki, Reverend Miyaji, Sumi Tanabe, and organist Michael Yoshihara, and the AV Tech Brandon Uenaka. So, again, thank you for coming, and this concludes today's Honko service.